Most motels on old highways look the same. Neon sign. Ice machine by the office. A row of numbered doors facing the parking lot. 10 rooms, 12 rooms, maybe 16 if it's a bigger strip. The number on the door always matches the key. Always. Except once. Except at a motel on Route 9 outside a town called Millhaven that Petra checked into on a rainy Wednesday in October, a motel with 10 rooms on its register, 10 keys on its board, 10 numbers painted on 10 doors. And one door at the end of the hall with the number 11 that no one at the front desk could explain. And a key, cold, old, heavy, that had been sitting in Petra's jacket pocket since she checked in. A key she had not been given. Petra was driving cross-country alone. 31 years old, recently quit her job, the kind of trip people take when they need to think and can't think at home. She'd been driving since 6 a.m. It was past midnight when the rain came down hard enough that she couldn't see the lane markings. She pulled into the first place with a light on. The Millhaven Motor Inn. 10 rooms. The woman at the desk was somewhere in her 70s, half asleep over a paperback, and barely looked up when Petra came in. Room 7. $42 cash. Key on a heavy orange fob. Petra walked down the covered walkway to her room. She counted the doors as she passed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, her door, 7. Then 8, 9, 10. And then, past 10, set slightly back from the others as if the building had grown an extra room without telling anyone, a door with a brass number 11 on it. Old paint. Old wood. Old hinges. The kind of door that had been there for a very long time. She looked back at the office. One light on. She looked at door 11. Dark underneath. She went to bed. In the morning she asked the woman at the desk about room 11. The woman looked at her over the counter for a long moment. Then she said, "We only have 10 rooms." Petra said she'd seen the door. The woman said there was no door. Petra asked if she could show her. The woman came out from behind the desk, slowly, reluctantly, and walked with Petra down the covered walkway. 1 through 10. She counted them out loud, one finger pointing at each door. She stopped at 10. There was no room 11. The walkway ended. A concrete wall. A drain pipe. Petra stared at the wall. She remembered standing there last night looking at a door. She remembered the number. The old brass. The weathered wood. Then she put her hand in her jacket pocket, the jacket she'd been wearing since she arrived, and felt something cold. Heavy. She pulled it out. A key. Old. Brass. On a fob that had the number 11 written on it in faded marker. She should have left. She checked out, got in her car, sat in the parking lot for 20 minutes with the key in her hand. Then she went back to the office. The woman was gone. The desk was empty. On the counter was the guest register, a physical book, spiral-bound, the kind cheap motels used before computers. She opened it. Scanned the recent entries. Room 7. Her name. Her check-in. Then she flipped further back. Looking for room 11. Looking for any entry marked 11. She found 3. Spread across 30 years of records. 3 different guests, 3 different dates, 1987, 1999, 2011, each checked into room 11. Each with a checkout date. Each checkout date the same, the following morning. She ran her finger down the notes column. The motel used a simple code, NC for no complaints, LC for late checkout, DND for do not disturb. All 3 room 11 entries had the same note. Not a code. Written by hand each time, by what looked like 3 different people across 3 different decades, the same 4 words, guest did not leave. She used the key. She tells me she doesn't know how. She walked to the end of the walkway, the concrete wall, the drain pipe, and she put the key in a lock she could not see and she turned it and the door was there. Room 11 was identical to the other rooms. Same carpet. Same bed. Same low dresser with a TV on top. Same bathroom door ajar, same dark bathroom beyond it. The only difference was the smell, not bad, just old. The smell of a room that had been sealed for a very long time. And on the bedside table, a single photograph. Face down. Petra turned it over. It was a photograph of 3 people standing in front of the motel. A man and 2 women. Smiling. Dressed in clothes from 3 different decades, she could tell by the cut, the colors. But standing together. Together in one photo. 3 people who had stayed in this room 30 years apart, somehow photographed at the same moment. They were all looking at the camera. Except one. One of the women, dressed in clothes that looked recent, that looked like something Petra herself would wear, was looking slightly to the left of the camera. Looking, Petra realized with a cold drop in her stomach, at exactly where she was standing. She ran. Out of room 11, down the walkway, straight to her car. She drove for 2 hours without stopping. When she finally pulled into a rest stop and sat in silence, she realized her hands had stopped shaking. She also realized she still had the key. She threw it out of the window into a field. 3 days later she reached her destination, her sister's house on the other coast. She didn't tell anyone what had happened. She tried to forget it. She was doing well at forgetting it until, 2 weeks after the motel, her sister called her into the kitchen with a strange look on her face. Her sister had been unpacking Petra's travel bag, doing laundry, being helpful, and had found something in the inner zip pocket. A pocket Petra never used. A pocket she was almost certain she had never opened on this trip. The key. Old. Brass. Fob marked 11. "Where did you get this?" her sister asked. Petra didn't answer. She was looking at the key. She was thinking about the photograph. About the woman in modern clothes who wasn't looking at the camera. She was thinking about how, in the photograph, that woman was smiling. She drove back to Millhaven. She tells me she doesn't know why. She says she needed to return the key. She says she needed to understand. I think she went back because room 11 wanted her to, and some part of her, some part that had been changed by that photograph, already knew she would. The Millhaven Motor Inn was exactly as she'd left it. Neon sign. Parking lot. 10 doors. The woman at the desk looked up when Petra came in. Something moved across her face, not surprise. Recognition. The quiet recognition of someone who has been expecting a visit for a while. "You found it," the woman said. Not a question. Petra put the key on the counter. The woman looked at it. Then she looked at Petra. Then she said, very carefully, "The other 3 came back too. They always come back. They leave the key, but they always come back one more time. That's what the room needs. One more visit. To take your photograph." Petra looked at the walkway. At the end, where the concrete wall should have been, door 11 was open. Light spilling out. Warm and yellow and waiting. On the front desk, she noticed a camera. Old. Film. Pointed at the door. She looked at the woman. The woman's hands were already on the camera. "It won't hurt," the woman said. "Just stand in front of the door. Just one photograph. And then you can go. You'll be free of it." Petra took a step toward the door. She says that's the last thing she remembers. Petra's sister reported her missing after 4 days. The police found her car in the Millhaven Motor Inn parking lot. The motel had no record of her second visit. The woman at the desk, the same woman Petra described, said she had not seen anyone matching that description. There is no room 11 in the Millhaven Motor Inn. The building inspector confirmed it. 10 rooms. Always 10 rooms. Petra has not been found. But 3 weeks after she disappeared, her sister was going through her things and found a photograph tucked inside Petra's travel bag. A photograph of 4 people standing in front of a motel she recognized from the news coverage. A man and 3 women, dressed in clothing from different decades, standing together and smiling at the camera. The 4th person, newest, in the most modern clothes, was Petra. She was looking directly at the camera this time. But she was not smiling. She was looking at whoever was holding the photo, looking through it, almost, with an expression the sister described as, like she was trying to warn someone. Like she was trying to say, don't go back. Whatever you do, don't go back. If you're ever driving a long highway at night. If it's raining. If the only light you can see belongs to a motel with a vacancy sign and a row of numbered doors. Count the doors. Count them twice. And if the last one says 11, keep driving. Just keep driving.